Ahoy, ye landlubbers! This tutorial be by I, Poptugi, tutorial maker of the 7 seas. This tutorial be for those who want to make their banners fly high in the sky, or make the waves crash beneath their ships. It'd be a tutorial for waves, I guess. Not much more to say, is there? Just tutorials, and I'm a pirate, and if you didn't understand before, this is a tutorial to make flags wave in the air, or waves in a sea, or any other kind of thing like making your character's hair blow in the wind. So yeah, that be it. That's all I've got to say about it, so let's get on with it, shall we? Flip of the gibbets, and hoist the main.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to be making a tutorial about how to make a flag animation in Anime Studio, and I just want to start by saying that I did not come up with this technique. I just saw this on YouTube, and the guy who made this is named Gilbert. His name is Gilbert Concepcion. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but he made this like 5 years ago, and I actually have never seen this, and it's really amazing. I'm gonna do it a little bit different than him, just so you can use pictures inside of the animation. And I did make a cloth tutorial quite a few years ago. Hi guys, this is around the same time, but this is completely different. It's actually, I'll show you how to do this again as well. But this shows you how to make kind of a cloth simulation. But I wanted to redo that just because I have a better mic, and trying to make my YouTube channel a little better. So just wanted to let you know that, yeah, this is not my technique, the flag waving part. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to create a vector rectangle. So I'm going to turn on the grid layer by hitting Command G, like that, and create shape. And right now I'll go ahead and leave the fill and stroke off just so I can see the points. And oops, let's select a rectangle, and this just makes the grid makes it easier to add the points in a very specific place. So I'm just gonna, every 4 units, I'm just gonna add points, because I'm going to make a grid for we'll just move this one over, and then we'll do the same for the side. Just adding points every 4, and move these down. Then we'll just go ahead and make this a grid. So hitting adding points again right here, we'll click on this point and make sure that the auto weld is turned on so they snap. And they don't line up perfect. I don't know, they're just a little bit off for some reason, but that's okay. Doesn't really matter. Let's drag these across. Now for the cross sections, go ahead and click on your point up here and then let go on the first line, and then just keep dragging and letting go on the way down. Again, they're not lined up perfect, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter for what we're doing. It should be okay. So drag and release, drag and release, drag and release. And the reason why we're making a grid is so that when we put a picture or a JPEG image inside of this, it has more points to deform to. The way that Gilbert made this tutorial, he did it with just points, and I'm going to do it with bones. So there's some bone strength, so we can actually put pictures or gradients or our own artwork in there, and it will actually deform inside of the movement. So we'll just keep drawing these, and then one more line or section like that. Okay, and then I'm going to hit U, which is fill shape, or just click here, and we'll click on the outside box and hit spacebar. And I'm just going to fill it with just some random color. We'll just use red right now, just so we can see the box when we're adding bones. So we'll go ahead and add a bone layer, and we'll just call this flag, and drag the artwork. Let's just call this artwork too. Just keep everything organized, and make sure you drag it into the flag bone layer, so it's over here. Then we'll click on the bone layer, and then we're just going to draw, add bones. Click here, or hit A, and we'll just drag and drop. I'm actually going to do this to the side just a little bit so it's easier to see. So we'll drag 4 down, and then we'll just continue to do that 1, 2, 3, 4 until we get to the bottom. Oops. Let's do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4. I'm just doing this so everything's nice and even once again. And you know what? Let me change the color of this background so it's easier to see. So we'll just make this green for now. Because I'm going to move the bones over, so I'll go ahead and hit B and then T, and then just move this over. Since these are all linked, you can see by the parenting, they're all just linked together. And to make this easier, we're gonna put this on the first line. We'll go ahead and select all by Command A, and that selects all of the bones, and then do a Command C and a Command V, and that makes a duplicate. And we'll move this 4 over, and you can see by the parenting that it's exactly the same. So we'll just do that. Let's select all of the bones again. Command A, Command C, Command V. Copy and paste. Move those 4 over like that. Oh, I think I moved this over too much. Let's hit B, T, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so those are all good. Again, Command A, or you can do, I think, File, Select All. I don't know where that is. I always use the shortcuts. Command A, Command C, Command V, and we'll move those over. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need one more set, so hit B. Let's go ahead and just select one row. Something's wrong here. I only have 3. I did something wrong. It'll still work though. See, this bone's shorter than the rest. It'll still work though. Command C, Command V, and place at the end. And let's go ahead and select all of them one more time. Command A. And then let's look at the bone strength, and it's really high. So we'll go ahead and left click and drag so they're just barely touching, like right about there. Okay. And then our flag is now rigged with bones. So we'll go ahead and turn the grid off. So I'm going to hit Command G just so we can see everything. And let's go. I'm just going to show you what's going on right now. On frame 1, I'm just going to hit B, so nothing's selected right now. And if while I'm in the timeline, you can see if I grab this bone, it actually will move these points, which is what we want. And this grabs there, and this grabs here, and be careful you don't rotate. I mean, that's okay if you rotate, but that's not what we're going to do now. But all of these control the points within here. So the first thing we're going to do is go to frame 1. We'll hit B to select bones, and we're going to grab all of the top ones except the very first row. We don't need to change that. And so let's see. I'll hit T, and this is going to transform them all. So I'm going to move these down and over just a little bit. You can see the trail right there. And oh, how am I going to do this? I think. And let's grab each one of these separately now. Gilbert did this by just grabbing all the points and scalings, but I'm going to have to hit B and then T, and I'm just going to kind of compress these all. So I'm just grabbing these and moving these over. And it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but it is moving the points, so it's kind of shrinking all of these. And then we'll go to 6. And let's, whoa, hit B and grab all of these. And actually, you know what? Let's, while we have the first frame, let's go ahead and select all, Command A, and then Command F. That just makes a keyframe for everything. So frame 1, Command A, Command F. That just makes a keyframe for everything. And then 6, on frame 6, we'll go ahead and grab these top bones. And we're going to go up. Oops. Up. A little bit past where they're supposed to be. And then spread them out evenly. Actually, I'm going to put them right here just so I can see where the starting points are. Hit B and then T to transform. Oops. B, T. And move it over its original position. Its original position there. Just so we get them spaced out again evenly. Because when the flag's moving, it's kind of compressing as it moves. So we'll do that, and then we'll do Command A, Command F, and that freezes that position right there. And then we'll go to frame 12, and then select the first keyframes right here, and then do a Command C, and then a Command V. And you see that pastes it back to its original position. The very first one where it's compressed a little bit like that. And that's what we want. So now we're going to select all of these last keyframes on frame 12 and then right click and cycle. Now you need to put relative to cycle instead of absolute, because we're going to be kind of offsetting the movement of each one of these top bones to give the illusion of the flag waving. So relative to cycle, leave it at 11, like that. And then doesn't look like it's done anything, and it hasn't, it's just cycling. If I hit play, it's just moving back and forth. So we'll close this window. Now what we're gonna do is hit B, and then we're only going to select hit B and select these top bones right here. Not this first one we've animated, but the second or the third on. And then you need to come down here, grab only the keyframes on the red bone, because this is going to alter the it's going to stagger the movement for just these bones. So then we'll grab this and drag it 2 frames over. So 1, 2. Okay. Then we're going to hit B, select these. Now we're going to leave this one alone. We'll grab these keyframes at the bottom under the red, move this 2 over. 1, 2. Hit B, grab the next 4 or 5. Grab the bottom keyframes, move them 2 over. 1, 2. Hit B, grab just these, and then these, and 1, 2. And just keep doing that really quick. 1, 2. Hit B, grab the last 2, grab these, 1, 2, and then we'll just grab the last bone itself, and 2 over. And the time for it looks really crazy, but if you see now when we play this, it looks like a flag waving. Now the edges are a little bit jagged, so let's go ahead and go to the artwork. I'll hit G and just select all of these points in the middle, and hit C and just curve them out. I'm just left clicking and dragging to the right just a little bit. Let's see how that looks. Still pretty jagged. Maybe a little more. I don't know if that's gonna help. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. So there you have the flag movement. Now here's the reason that I used bones instead of just animating the points. So let's go to Google and grab a picture of any flag that you want. So let's do the American flag. And I'm just gonna find a flat one. So I'll just grab this one. That looks pretty cool. Kind of painted. That's not very realistic. That's okay. Let's save link as, or actually wait. Save image as, and just save it to the desktop. So now what we can do is in our artwork layer, let's go ahead and hit Q and select our color fill, and then under the effect we'll go ahead and select image texture, and then hit select texture, and then we'll select our flag and it'll fill in. Now this is treating it as an image and or a gradient, so what we'll do is we'll just shrink this down by selecting this empty circle and then just pushing it down until it looks right. So we'll get it right about there. Now this all depends on your image. We may not have the right amount of stripes, but this is just to give you an example. So now that we have that image in there, if I hit play, there you have a flag blowing in the wind. But the cool thing about this is if you create this once and save it, and then you want to do a different flag, let's go and find something else, like, let's do Mexico. And we'll grab this image. Let's do this one. And save image as Mexican flag to the desktop. So now all we need to do is come back over to the fill and click on this little button with the 3 dots. Click on the source, and then we'll just change it to the Mexican flag. Hit OK. Oops. Make sure it's selected. Checkered like that, otherwise it won't work. And now Mexican flag's in there, and your flag animation is ready to go already, and it'll animate any picture that you want. So, and it doesn't have to be a flag. I mean, you could go and get I don't know, just grab this picture here. Save image. And hit Q, select the image, change it to our Marvel poster, resize it to however you want. I think, oops, yeah. Then you have even a detailed picture will move the same way. So let's do pirate flag. see this a lot. Ooh, that one's cool. Pirates of the Caribbean, save image to the desktop. One more time, we'll hit Q, swap this out. Hit this little button here, and there. Open that up, and we'll go ahead and resize it so it looks correct. So let's do right about there. Move the image around even. Oops. It's repeating, so you can see if I drag it, if I made it too small. Like that. Just have to adjust. This grabs the entire picture, the solid circle, and then the top one expands it, makes it larger or bigger. And there you have the Pirates of the Caribbean flag. So that's how you do flags, or flag movement, and you can use this with a lot of other things. I'm going to try this with like anime hair or capes, I think would work really well. Now the other thing that I've done, my old tutorial, this is how to make a realistic moving cloth, and it's based on the same principle. So we're going to erase all of the animation, so there's nothing on here. The artwork is still there. If I hit Q, the pirate flag is still on there. And what we're going to do is go to the bone layer. I'm going to hit B, deselect the bone so there's nothing there, and we're going to hit A to add kind of a main control bone, I guess you could say. And turn the bone strength down on that one. So we'll just hit the bone strength, turn that all the way down. And we want to link the top of these, or every one of these rows, to this bone. So we'll hit B, drag through the top row so it selects all the top row, and then hit P to parent, and then just click on this top one. Now they're all connected to this top bone. So if I'm in the timeline and I grab this bone and move it around, it controls the entire flag or piece of cloth. Okay, but we want this to look like it's actually realistic cloth, and it's kind of tricky. All you have to do, well, it's not tricky, but getting the settings the way you want is the tricky part. So now that these are all parented like this, we're going to make every one of these bones underneath have bone dynamics turned on. So you need Anime Studio Pro, of course, to do this. So we'll select all of these underneath, and we'll hit bone constraints and then bone dynamics. And the default, they're set to be pretty springy. Torque force and spring force are pretty high. So if I'm in the timeline, and let's go ahead and do a little animating. We'll grab this bone. Oops. Move the flag over here, then we'll move it back over here to the right, and if I animate it, you'll see that, oops, let's make that keyframe 1. So as you pull it over, it's springy looking. It's moving, let's see, hold on, move it back and forth. I'm going to move it back and forth a couple times. So as it pulls, moves back and forth, it actually looks very similar to cloth, but you see how much spring there is there. So you have to go in and play with the, go back to frame 0, hit B. I'm going to make this cycle just to like 120, just so we can see the different effects. So I just typed in 120 here, and then it shortened the timeline playback. So as it's playing, we'll go ahead and click on bone constraints because these bones are still selected. And then we'll turn the torque force down. And once it cycles back to frame 0, you can see the effects. So we'll turn the spring force down also. That's too little. Whoa. So you can see that's the movement's too fast and the bones are kind of curling up. So we'll turn the dampening up a little bit and see if that calms it down a little bit. Let's put a little less torque on there. Point 1. That looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more spring. So you just need to play with the bone dynamic settings to get the cloth to look the way that you want. And you can also, like, let's say we want this to bunch up like a curtain. At this very, you know, we're pulling over to this side, and then let's go ahead and hit B, unclick, and then hit T, and let's just move these a little bit closer together, the top bones. So just squish this a little bit. And then go ahead and expand them. Oops. I wish you could, it'd be nice if you could align bones too. I mean, I'm not complaining. Anime Studio or SmithMicro's already, they've added aligning tools. So, I just wish I could distribute these pretty evenly. Oops. Like that. So they, you know, contract and expand. You could even add a little bit of wiggle. Like let's go to frame 1, and I'm just gonna add, I just added a little bit of rotation, and I'm gonna make it noisy. But see, now it's really jittery, so we'll change the noise. Let's turn the scale way up, so it's kind of, turn the amplitude down. So see, it's just wiggling a little bit. So if I render this out, let's go to 200. And we'll export animation. We'll do 200. Pirate flag. And we'll just render this out, and you can see that this actually moves similar to cloth. So you actually have a lot of control over your image when you have it connected to bones. So that's the reason why I did the bones instead of point animation. So let's look at that real quick. And you can see that the animation will stretch and compress the image itself. Now that doesn't mean you can't do this with your vector images as well. You can actually, it'll actually compress your images, vector images as well. So I'll go in here, let's turn this to plain. So there's no texture in there, or no picture. Let's change the color to gray, or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just leave it gray. And then I'll add some artwork on here. So let me turn the grid on. Let's make a little image here. Let's make that red. Oops. And copy that, move that. Off for a second. I think you guys know what I'm making. Close enough. Yeah, looks good. And oops. Studio symbol. Put that in the center of the flag. And because there's bone strength on already set and whatnot, you don't have to do anything. You can just throw any artwork on here. I'll do a Command T. I already typed in Anime Studio. I'll hit OK. Now the text layer needs to be changed to vector, so you need to right-click and convert to vector. So it changes to points. I'll select all of it and cut it. So we will cut. Maybe. Okay, cut. There it goes. I did a Command X, and now I'm going to paste it onto the artwork. And move that into place. Maybe make that a little lighter gray. Like that. I'll put a black background in so you can see it better. Oops. Just like that, and then let's play the animation. And you can see it's morphing the picture and the text as well. So it's all easy to animate. So I hope this helps any of you guys trying to make flags or cloth and things like that. And if you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below or on the Anime Studio Pro Facebook page. And that's it. Thanks.